Hi, and welcome to the Curling Show. I'm your host, Dean Gemmell, and a little bit of background here for you in case you wondered what happened to the Curling Show site. It was hacked pretty badly, actually, way beyond my capabilities for repairing it. So I had 2 interviews done before that happened, and when I went to post them, I realized that I'd been hacked. But the 2 interviews, Michelle Englot and Adam Casey. So this was an interview I did with Michelle Englot prior to the Scotties Championship, prior to that great final that all of us saw last night, or whenever you're listening to this. But the final that's in the books. So this was pre-Scotties, so that might make it suck, this interview, or it might make it interesting. I'm not really sure. You'll have to listen and decide. You can see what you think. But it was great to talk to Michelle. And I appreciated her time, so I want to make sure I've got this interview up, even if it sits on Fit to Curl for a little while we repair the curling show. That's our conversation, pre-Scotties coming up. Couple of shameless plugs. You can buy Fit to Curl by John Morris, written with a bit of help from me. You can buy the ebook. It's a Kindle ebook on Amazon. Buy it there. There are no printed copies of Fit to Curl left. So if you want it, this is your best bet. It does have some added interactivity with photos, and there are also audio files included in the ebook that are interviews, almost all the interviews that I did with John over the years here on the Curling Show. So that's a bit of bonus if you don't get since you can't get the book made with paper and stuff. It's all electronic. You can also get the Brush Like a Badass ebook. It's on Amazon. That's a good one. I wrote that one. Really good, as you might think I would say. It's also in Kobo and in the iTunes bookstore or iBooks or whatever Apple calls it these days. You can find that. You can also book a Brush Like a Badass clinic with me, Dean Gemmell. Those work pretty well. People enjoy them. If your club is interested in one, email me at dgemmell, DGEMMELL, at thecurlingshow.com. Email me and we'll see if we can set something up. They usually go over pretty well for developing curlers especially. They're quite popular. And stand-up. I'm doing more stand-up. Recent show here in New Jersey, but March 25th in New York City, if anybody happens to be around, or if you're in New York City and a listener to this podcast, let me know and I'll hook you up. I can also come probably and perform at Spiels. I'm doing some of that. So if you need a curler who knows comedy, or maybe the reverse, a comedian who knows a bit about curling, I could help with that. As always, I hope you enjoy this. I'm sorry it got up so late, but I'm going to put it up anyways. And hopefully next time you hear my voice, I will have a better setup for thecurlingshow.com. Here's Michelle Englot. She's an 8-time Saskatchewan representative at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts and a 1-time representative of Manitoba. Michelle Englot, welcome to the Curling Show.
Thank you.
So, you are going to be wearing the buffalo on your back at the Scotties in St. Catharines, Ontario. What sort of emotions went through you as your team won the title?
Well, it was a little surreal, actually, because, obviously that was the first Manitoba provincial that I had played in. So, it kind of felt more like a Bondsfield to me than a provincial championship. But, I've played a lot of those teams previously, and it was just an amazing feeling to come out on top.
Compare, if you will, your Saskatchewan provincials to the Manitoba provincial.
Well, it's definitely the levels of competition in both provinces are fairly deep. And so, I think it is very similar in terms of that. So, to win a provincial in any of the provinces, you definitely need to have a fairly consistent week, and then you need to get on a roll in the playoffs at the end. And that's what we managed to do this week.
Now, this team of yours sort of came together, towards last season, really. You went to a Spiel in Korea, played together for the first time there. When did you start to realize this could work and the chemistry would be good?
Well, we worked a little bit off the ice during the summer, and then we started going in steals in mid-September, and we had a little bit of success early, but then October was a little bit of a black month for us, where we struggled a bit and went through some team process issues and things like that, where we weren't quite getting the results that we wanted. We had lost a couple of qualifiers, and then in November we started to roll, and then from there it was. I think we've been consistently improving since that time. So that's we knew when we put the team together that to have results in January timeframe was our goal, and to do that we needed to build fairly quickly.
All right, Michelle, even though your birth date on the Grand Slam of Curling website is listed as 1999, you are a veteran of the game. And
1999?
Yeah, that's what it says on the Grand Slam of Curling website, which I thought was
Really?
a good bit. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I thought it was 69 on there.
I have seen a number of different numbers, but I'm all good with that as a guy who's approaching 50 himself. So I'm all good with fudging the dates a bit. But does it feel a little bit, though, not so much your age, just where you're at in your curling career? It's a natural arc of a career. Did it feel a little bit like a second chance when you were able to connect with a team like this one that had experience that really just needed someone to slot in and replace Christy McDonald?
Yeah, at my age, I've been through fair amounts of iterations of my own teams, and the team building part is always the most challenging thing. So being able to step into an established team where 3 of the 4 members have played together was basically the deciding factor for me. I certainly didn't, at my age, want to start building a team from scratch. And, to have the opportunity to step into a team where the 3 had success on a previous team was pretty key in terms of me making my decision, and as it's turned out, it's been a great decision for me. And yes, I would say it's sort of given me a second chance to compete at the top level, and I'm working hard to take advantage of that.
These teammates, I mean, we all know that on tour, players get to know each other and everything else. Was this a team you knew fairly well, or was it a team you didn't know that well?
No, didn't know them that well. We had played them a couple of years before when Kate, I don't believe, she would have been on the team, but we had played them and had sat down and had drinks with them at one event. And then, from there, it's just a matter of seeing them at events and playing against them a number of times. But didn't really know them that well, but there was, nothing like a week in a foreign country to get to know each other. So that definitely set us off on the right foot.
Well, what was the South Korea event? I'm trying to recall. Why did you go there, and why did you play in that as your first event?
It was a new event that Korea was trying to get teams to come to. And so, at that point, we just thought that since we had already made the commitment to play together for the upcoming season, we decided that it would be a great way for us to get going. It was all expenses paid and a good opportunity to earn some more points that counts basically towards the 3 out of 4 total rate from last year. So it just thought it was a really good opportunity.
So you win Manitoba, and of course to do that you had to knock off, well, I guess you beat Jennifer in the 1-1 game, I think. Is that right? Do I have that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
So you beat Jennifer Jones in the 1-1 game. Not only did you wind up winning Manitoba, but you also take out someone who, if she's at the Scotties, is always a contender to win. Talk about how you feel about your chances so far at the Scotties. We've got some veterans back as well from Alberta, or at least one veteran on leading a team, Shannon Kleibrink. Not so sure who's going to come out of Ontario yet. We'll find out this week. How do you like your chances at maybe wearing the Buffalo and the Maple Leaf in the same year?
I think if we continue to play as consistently as we did through the provincial playdowns, that we have a really good opportunity to do well at the nationals, and that will be our focus just heading in because it is a long week. There's a lot of games. We want to pick up where we left off at the provincial and keep building towards the weekend, make the playoffs, and then hopefully get hot in the playoffs again.
Now, you're one of a group of players on both the men's and women's sides who are part of I think a wise Canadian rule change to allow an out-of-province player on every team. What sort of reception did you get in Manitoba from the other players?
I think have been fairly accepted. I know, I have seen some posts. I've seen, both sides on social media where some of the folks from Manitoba aren't particularly happy that a Saskatchewan girl is skipping their team this year, but it's no different than, as you said, like what Reed Carruthers and with Braden Muscovy from Regina. So it's the same thing, and so I think it's been a good decision for the Canadian Curling Association because teams were doing it illegally anyway.
Right.
And so I think making it legal and monitoring it a little bit closer has definitely legitimized the ability to do that. So I don't see any concerns with it. And I'm getting lots of attention here from it as well. I mean, I've had people at my own club or my home club here who say they won't cheer for me, but but they still congratulate me. So.
Good, but we hope you lose.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think it was a good decision for Canada because in some ways, Canada was putting its players in a tough position when other countries don't have provincial barriers and you have good players scattered across, and the elite levels, the pool of players is actually sort of shrinking at that very, very elite level. So if you're relegated to your province, and then it's not even just, it could be like one team of 4 really good players and one person's on the sidelines, right? So I think it makes sense. Talking a little bit about that, the way the game has changed. Of course, you've seen a lot over the years. Are you at all envious of the opportunities that younger players have right now? And do you wish you could turn the clock back a bit?
I did say that to someone when they asked how much longer I was going to play. I did, I would like to be 20 years younger and be taking advantage of a few more things, but I have been involved in the sport competitively for 30 years now, and it's definitely grown. And speaking of the drop-ins in the different provinces, I know from my own perspective as a women's team and going through what life throws at you in terms of family commitments, work commitments, and things like that, it is great to have the opportunity to go to another province because I can honestly say that I haven't had a team previously that was able to make the commitments that these 3 girls did. And so, it's you narrow your pool when you are restricted to your provincial boundaries, and I think it's been a good move for the sport.
Well, that's a good point. Is on the women's side, especially. I mean, women have to, usually trying to juggle a few other things, including motherhood, if they so desire. So it's tricky all around. And you're right. Finding the players who can actually commit the time and effort and have the flexibility to pursue that kind of schedule isn't easy. And if you're stuck just to your province, it's certainly challenging. So. And I don't think it will dilute the provincial rivalries too much at the national events. Do you? I mean, I think the people who cheer for Manitoba are going to cheer for you anyways.
Yeah, I would hope so.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. What about we touched just on your chances a bit, but are you friendly with Shannon Kleibrink?
Shannon and I have played against each other for quite a few years, so I think I know Shannon fairly well. We had the opportunity to go to a Canadian mix together, and those events are a little more social than a men's or a women's.
Really, Michelle? Are they the
yeah,
mix? There's some more social?
More.
That's the one Shannon won, wasn't it? She won in 2004. And
It was.
She beat my former skip, Heath McCormick, in the final, I think. I'll remind him of that. I like to remind him of that. So.
Yeah, there were 3 women on the All-Star team.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
3 women on the All-Star team. So, Shannon, a bit from that, it's interesting, 2004 mixed to now. So I think the field's, it's sort of a bit of a change. You've got, of course, Chelsea Carria's Team Canada, who have struggled this year. But it'll be interesting to see who comes out of Ontario. What else was I going to talk to you about here, Michelle? You're born and raised in Saskatchewan. All that time, how did you grow up? How did you get into the game?
I'm from small town Saskatchewan, so you either played hockey or figure skated or curled in the winter, and that's basically how I started. I started playing in a league and on a family team, and went from there.
Do any of you? I think you have boys, right? 2 sons. Do either of them curl?
They do not. They were both competitive hockey players and golfers and everything else. But it's interesting. My youngest one now thinks that he should take it up. So he's actually wanting to enter mixed doubles events with me. So it's kind of funny. He's sort of taken a shine to the sport at the age of 26. So it's kind of interesting watching his interest grow in the sport.
Well, you know what I think is interesting there is I think in Canada you become a better curler the sooner your NHL dream dies. So when your NHL dream dies, you walk across the street to the curling club. For me, it was when I was about 14. They told me the dream was dead. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
You love the game. You played for many years. Do you think you'll always play? Do you think you'll just find let's go past this Olympic cycle? You think you just keep playing if you in at some level?
At some level, I definitely don't think I will play competitively at the tier 1 level for too much longer. So
right.
It does take a big commitment, and so it's something that I know that I will scale back in a couple of years, and we'll just see how these next couple of years play out, and then I'll make that decision at that time.
Does that make you appreciate it just a bit more than maybe you would have when you're younger, that you're not going to be doing this that much longer?
Yeah, for sure. I think when this opportunity did come up for me, it was something that I looked at. It was just such a great opportunity to end my career, giving it one last shot and giving it 110% commitment. And so that definitely has factored into the whole approach.
Well, it's a great story, and it'll be interesting to watch you and this team. I haven't been able to see a whole lot of you, even in Grand Slams this year. I just haven't caught it, but so I'm interested to see your team play together. I finished, Michelle. I've stopped doing this, but I'm going to start again with you. I finished with the run back. I give you a topic, and you give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words, and nobody really sticks to 1 to 3 words.
1 to 3 words?
Yeah, nobody really sticks to it, but all right. Here we go.
Right.
Donald Trump's first 10 days.
Frightening. Yeah. There's one word.
Just alarming every morning. But
oh my goodness.
I'm not afraid to. Yeah, it's. Oof. Anyways, all right. You're not living down here either. So.
No.
Yeah. Roger Federer.
Amazing.
And Serena Williams.
A beast.
There's all the inspiration you need, right, for the Scotties? I mean,
exactly, and it was really funny. I just after we finished the round robin, listened to a little clip on Serena talking about how hard she had to work at the game and how it all came down to self-belief, and so that was kind of a really unique timing, and it is all about that. It's about believing in yourself and going out there and laying it all on the table.
Believe you can win. I always think that's the biggest thing for athletes. Some people think they can win, and other people believe they can win. So
exactly.
How about the slashed grain bags out there in Saskatchewan? What's going on?
The what?
The slashed grain bags in Saskatchewan.
No, that's news to me.
News to you. That's your comment on it. All right. Well, it's a story. Somebody's out there slashing grain bags, and it's no joke, Michelle. So,
really?
Yeah.
As a farm girl,
Yeah.
That's concerning.
I thought you'd be all over that. How about the softening real estate market in Vancouver?
Well, that's an opportunity, I think. Vancouver's always been one of the places that I've really enjoyed. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
You might finally be able to get in there or something. They need to get that real estate market soften a bit. And finally, Tom Brady.
Well, a legend. I think he's definitely in those books. So looking forward to that game.
A legend on the field. I will add also a Trump supporter and friend. So,
is he?
Oh, yes. Not going to let him forget that now. He and Bill Belichick.
Wow.
So, yeah, he doesn't like to talk about that too much right now. He's trying to figure out how to play that one, and he doesn't really know. So I'm cheering for the Falcons just for that reason. Even though nobody likes the Patriots in the East Coast if you're not from Boston or New England. But anyways. All right, Michelle, I give everybody a chance to name their sponsors at the end of these podcasts. So let me know who is behind your team this year.
We have two main sponsors, Rocky Mountain Equipment and National Leasing are our key ones. And then we have Ashton Curling and Hardline, who are equipment sponsors, and then a number of small ones from there.
Oh, Vision something I see. I'm looking at a team jacket right now. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Yeah, there.
Well, good for all of them, and good for you and your success this year. And nice to see this work out for you. And good luck in St. Catharines, Ontario, at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Thanks, Dean.
That was Michelle Englot on the Curling Show. Show was taped before this year's Scotties Tournament of Hearts, but unfortunately not posted until now because of malicious hackers. But anyways, here it is now. It's up. She had a great run at the Scotties, of course, and it was a pleasure to talk to her. Remember my ebook, Brush Like a Badass, that's on Amazon as a Kindle ebook. You can also get the book by John Morris, Fit to Curl, as an ebook on Amazon. There are no printed versions of that book available anymore, but buy it as an ebook, a little more interactivity in it. And some audio interviews that I did with John over the years on the Curling Show are also in that ebook. Book a clinic, book a Brush Like a Badass clinic at your club. If you feel like doing that, let me know. And follow me on Twitter. I am at Dean Gemmell, DeanGemmell. Follow me on Twitter for tweets about curling and often politics as well. So there you go. And some comedy thrown in there. I'm also doing comedy shows at Curling Spiels, so if you're interested in that, let me know. Stand up at your spiel. That's all for now. As always, thanks for listening. Here's Black Pudding.
You go to work every day. You blend into the crowd.